everyone, Danny from Your Guitar Academy, and today I'm going to show you how you can get 3 different John Mayer sounds out of just 2 pedals, 1 reverb pedal and 1 overdrive pedal. And both of these pedals are provided by Eastwood guitars. It's the Eastwood Black Box Series. So let me just take you through this. First of all, to kick off, I just want to say that I'm using a Strat style guitar. I'm going that classic John Mayer vibe, okay, fundamentally single coils, okay? And then for the amp, I'm using the Tonex down here to get a kind of twin reverb sound. So that's my kind of absolute bass settings, twin reverb, Strat going into the twin reverb, and you've got a pretty good sound straight out the gate. So already with that, I've got some kind of sound there, okay? So the first kind of style of the John Mayer sound that I want to get, and I'm a huge fan of John Mayer, guys, so this is kind of really something I've been working with over years. It actually influences a lot of my playing style as well. The first thing I want to get is just a really beautiful clean so that we can really dive into just really kind of hearing the subtleties of my right and left hand as I play through a kind of cage chordy thing, right? So I'm going to use this Eastwood Dusty Spring, which is a reverb pedal, okay? So I've got the amp here, and I'm gonna go and turn that one on, okay? And the thing I love the most about this reverb pedal, and generally, in general pedals, is when they're simple. And this is as simple as it gets. You've got 2 knobs, you've got mix, and you've got dwell. And I'm gonna put the mix quite high, so almost 12 o'clock. And the dwell is kind of how long that reverb lingers for afterwards. So I don't want it to be too heavy, so that's kind of there. So there's your 12 o'clock, and I'm just kind of dialing back 1 or 2 hours, if you like. And that gives me, so that takes it from this kind of dry tone to this kind of sound. Which, if you ask me, is straight away in that ballpark of beautiful John Mayer. I'm going to try a little track of his. He did a kind of Michael Jackson cover in a John Mayer style. I'm going to see if you guys can recognize it using this exact sound. Let's give it a go. So that's one sound, right? And let me know if you guessed that song, put it in the comments. I'd highly recommend checking it out, it's awesome. So you can see straight away, super simple, right? It really works with John Mayer's vibe because you've got all those kind of percussive elements. So you want an amp like a silver face Fender style thing that's got loads of headroom, so you can really play into that little bit of compression, and then the reverb just brings it all out, just makes it beautiful, okay? Now, the next style that I want to get into is when we're playing songs more like Gravity or slow dancing, and we want to kind of slightly more compressed, slightly more like leady tone, but still very clean, very crisp. That's where we're going to use this Manalishi Drive. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to come onto this pedal, and I'm going to actually take the drive right down. I'm going to take the volume right up, and I'm going to put the tone somewhere in the middle. I'm just going to play around with this for a little bit. Turn the reverb down a tiny bit. Let's have a listen to this. So you can see there what's happening. If I just take that drive up a tiny little bit more, volume up a tiny little bit more. So if I get rid of that and I do the same lick, you can see that's kind of like crystal clean, sparkly clean, just through the Fender. As soon as I engage the overdrive pedal, so this Manalishi Drive, with just a little bit of drive, basically it's compressing the sound, and for me, it's adding a real like richness to the tone. And that for me is pretty much the sound that John Mayer would use on tracks like Gravity. So let's kind of have a little jam around with that and see how it sounds. So that's hopefully makes a bit of sense with regards to that style of sound. That's probably my favorite tone ever. Now the next one is when we want to get a bit more high octane with that. We still want, this is kind of like the trio style stuff. Who Did You Think I Was is a track I'm going to play through in a second, right? So we've definitely got that kind of overdrivey, tube screamery sound, but it's much more high gain. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kind of come away a little bit on the mix of the reverb, just a little bit. And I'm going to now switch around these. So my volume goes down a bit to compensate for the fact that the drive is going up so much. So I'm just going to have a try with that. Try. Ironic. So let's just go a little bit back on the drive, something around there. I'm going to get the tone up a little bit. So something like that, right? I'm just going to drop that volume a tiny little bit more. But you can play around with that, and depending on, with this pedal, it's great. Again, it's so easy, just the drive goes up, so I get more rich, more kind of overdriven sound. The volume comes down just to compensate for that, because that will obviously, as the drive goes up, the volume does as well. And then the tone, again, just stays in the middle. Only really when I want to do a hardcore kind of really epic solo would I boost that as like a tone boost as well, that kind of treble boost sound. But for now, that's really cool. So let's try and use this sound now to do something a bit more aggressive in that kind of Who Did You Think I Was style. So that, you can see, way more high energy, really super, super fun to play. And that, all those three sounds coming from just two pedals. To be fair, the first one is just simply using a good amp and then a lovely reverb. And then from then on in, it's just a little insight as to what you can do with a good overdrive tube screamery style pedal. This Eastwood Manalishi Drive does the job, and just really simple adjustments to make massive changes to your sound. So there we go, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that. Remember, all the way through November, you can win these 2 and 4 other Eastwood Black Box Series pedals via our competition. The links will be underneath the video in the YouTube description. So good luck entering that, and I'll see you again for another video.